So I know I had told you guys last month that I was going to be keeping a journal or a coloring diary just so I knew what pages I colored and when, and that way I could go through everything chronologically. But I didn't do such a great job with that. I started out strong. I think I did. I wrote down 3 or 4, and then I kind of somehow forgot to do that for the rest. Anyway, I'm going to take you through the same way I did last month, book by book, and show you what I colored this month. This is one of my new books that I published recently, and actually just picked this one up. I think I got this one last month, or this month, sorry, in March. This was the first page that I colored from it. If you've seen any of my shorts, you've seen me do my close-up ASMR shorts with this, and I loved doing this page. I loved how vibrant the yellow and blue look together. I was actually planning on doing this page strictly blues, but as I was coloring, I used the new Chen Rui alcohol markers with this page, and I loved how it turned out. Loved it. So that was the only page that I did from this book, but it's got a lot of great, bold, easy, simple, and relaxing patterns. Oh, I can't wait to do the bees. There it is. Ooh, I'll do this one this month for sure. I'm going to be focusing on bees this month, I think. Okay, so that was one page that I colored from Comfy Patterns. I'll just put that one aside. For this book, I did a page from, I think, the back. Yes. So I had got some Temu markers that I wanted to try. I wasn't going for any world record with the best page. I just really wanted to test out the markers and see how they would do in a coloring book. Didn't turn out too bad. You can see where the markers do not blend very well. There is quite a mark in the middle there. They weren't too bad for the price, but I'm still partial to the Ohuhu markers, which I know are hard to get right now. And also the Chen Ruis are surprisingly not too bad. I do enjoy using those. But that one was also done in March, and this is part of my Bold and Easy Stress Relief book. And it's got different, it's got different variations of Bold and Easy. So some are quite thick lines, but some are a little bit thinner and a little more detailed. So it does give you a bit of variety, but also is super fun to color. Oh, look at those macaroons. Makes me want to have some breakfast. I did have my tea this morning. I had a lot of fun with the grayscale books this month. I find them so much fun to color. They really allow for a very satisfying and almost instant gratification when you're coloring. So let's have a look at what I colored in March from Blooming Bees. Oh my gosh, this page. Okay, I don't love this page. I did this one on my live, and I thought it would be fun to do a different color for the actual bee, and I asked for suggestions during my live, and purple was the color that came up, which I love purple, so I was quite excited about it, but I'm not in love with how the bee turned out. But I do love how the flowers turned out. I love this peach color, and the yellow really did stand out quite nicely. It was a lot of fun to color and add the shading and details too. But I do not love the bee. Anyway, it was fun to color, but sometimes you just don't love the outcome, and that's okay. That's okay. So moving on, let's see if we can find another one I did in March. Oh, that was February. I think this one was, no, this one was March. Yes. Ooh, this one was done on the live, and I love this page so much. So this one, I stuck again with the yellow for the bee and really worked on making the wings translucent by adding a little bit of the color of the flowers inside the wing line, if you want to call it that. And it really just makes it look like it is three-dimensional. And these are cute little flowers too. But the background is so pretty with the bouquet effect. I love doing this effect. This is done with the pastel chalk pastels, and then you erase little circles throughout. And then I went back in and added some chalk pastel with a Q-tip in tiny little small circles in the yellow and green to make it look like it was kind of backlit with blurry lights. That's what bouquet is. But it also kind of makes it look like there's fireflies maybe in the background. And then I added some of the sparkly details. You can see the tiny details that are in the page, and it really turned out beautifully. So just the two from this book, and I do plan on coloring quite a bit more from this book this month. Now that it's springtime, not officially, but getting close, that's what I really want to work on this month. It's another one of the books that I recently published and received a copy of, and I was so excited to get going on this book. It is so beautiful. This again is grayscale pages, so the images look very realistic and allow for that really nice shading. Whoops, I need to move that plant out of the way. So I did, where is she? She's back here, I think, a little bit. And I did a flip through of this book on the unboxing video. So this page was so much fun to color. So coloring these pages may seem like they would be intimidating, but in actual fact, they're not as hard as you would expect. And the result is absolutely stunning. I had a lot of people ask if I drew this because it almost looks like a portrait. But no, I just colored this image and it turned out so beautifully. I'm in love with this page. I love everything about it. So to color this page, I did use the alcohol markers in a few different colors of a golden yellow, and really just use a lot of the flicking motions. So I may do a tutorial on how to color the realistic books. It would be, I think it would be a lot of fun to show you guys my process. And then after I added the alcohol marker, I did go over with a few different shades of gold and copper to add in some highlights and shadows, and that was in the colored pencils. But she is so pretty. Look at her face. I love dogs. So that was the one page that I did from Only Realistic Dogs coloring book, and it was such a great image to color. I did enjoy that one. Okay, let's move on. So sticking with that theme of Only Realistic Dogs, I also colored a page from Only Realistic Cats. I did use an image from Google as a reference photo, just so I could pick what colors I wanted to use. I kind of wanted to stay with a brownish kind of gray. So you can see where I used the alcohol markers to lay down the base, and then I used the colored pencils and alcohol markers to add in, you know, the little fine details here. And I did use some gel pens for some whiskers, but mostly it was colored pencil and the alcohol markers. And I did do the alcohol marker, or the background in alcohol marker, and then I kind of did a little shadow all the way around, including the leaves, with a chalk pastel. I think next time I might try something like a really dark background, so it's almost like they're out at night kind of running around. But I'm obsessed with this book too. So I only colored one page from the Realistic Cats coloring book, just like with the dogs. I'm still working on perfecting my process with these, but they are a lot of fun to color. Ooh, sticking with the Only Realistic theme, I also have a Only Realistic wildlife coloring book. And this one, I wasn't too sure what I was going to do. I did use a reference photo again from Google, and I don't know that I love this page. Actually, I do like this page. I think I kind of flubbed it around the bottom part here where the grass kind of went over top. I was trying to really focus on the actual fox and his little paw here and his tail. But I kind of went willy-nilly with the tail. Anyway, I tried to cover it up a little bit with the grass and some flowers. I think I kind of did resurrect it okay, but I'm not totally in love with this part of the page. I love his face. I think it turned out really nicely. But again, don't love that little part there. Anyway, the page turned out pretty good regardless, but that was one of the other pages I did. This is a really nice book as well. Oh, now to move on to some fan favorites. These are some of my favorite books. Oh, I forgot my other Magical Fairy Homes. I think I have a couple of pages out of here too. So I'm going to grab this one as well. We're going to start with the Garden Gnomes, and I have colored quite a few pages from these books. So don't mind me while I flip to find the pages that I colored this month. Oh, this one was March. This one was live on TikTok, and he turned out so well. I love his floofy little beard. I love his ginger. You know what? I do like the brown and kind of green and gold together. I think he turned out really nice. And the background was also recommended during the live to do a purpley pink background. So that's what I did. And again, I did the bouquet. This is in chalk pastels. And again, you take your eraser after you lay down the background and erase some parts, little circles, and then I add in some color with my chalk pastels. And then I add my little twinkles and my little dots here and there, and the little sparkles just add, those details just add to the whimsy of the page, and I love it. I love that. This little guy was done in March as well. This was live on TikTok, and I thought he was pretty cute. I do like the blue. I really wanted to show my viewers how I shade and highlight, so I spent a little bit more time doing that, especially with the hat and the clothes. And with the flowers actually. So I did spend a little bit more time doing that. So I didn't do a background, but I did do some like little fairy light sparkly dots in the background. Kind of almost looks like fireflies or pollen kind of floating around, which adds to the whimsy as well. But he was really cute. I liked how he turned out, and I really actually love how the flowers turned out. I love making flowers different colors, so they're not all just red, or they're not all just orange or green or yellow. I like adding a little bit of detail to them. And I like spending a little bit more time doing the shading and highlighting. And I think that was the last page. I don't think I only did 2 gnomes this month, but I am thinking about doing a gnome compilation video where I show my process for coloring the grayscale gnomes and my shading and my techniques for the bouquet. So I am thinking about doing some longer form videos where, you know, you can sit back and relax and watch me color and my process and everything else. So let me know in the comments if you'd like videos like that, if you want me to do the kind of not tutorials, but kind of just showing you how I do my pages and what my process is, and kind of giving you tips and hints along the way. Not necessarily a tutorial, but more like a color along. I'm thinking about doing more of that for my upcoming videos. So that was garden gnomes. On to flowers and fairy doors. This is another fan favorite with my lives. I did spend a lot of time, I think, with this book this month. It is a lot of fun because you get the whimsy of the fairy door, but you also get the fun of coloring the flowers. This page turned out so nicely. I love how the door turned out. It really, I don't know, the colors just pop. I think that the mushroom cap really looks neat being orange, and then the flowers on top, it's almost like the flowers on the mushroom cap are mushrooms, which is fun. But this is such a fun book to color. I love the whimsy of the fairy doors and the fun you can have with the flowers and the mushrooms and, you know, the path and the stonework. So there is still kind of that fairy house feel this book. And I did try to do a little bit of a stained glass effect in there. I need to work on that a little bit, but the door and adding the little details to the door, that was done with a gel pen. But again, as with all of my pages, I use the alcohol markers for the base, and then I shade and highlight with the colored pencils. That's a beautiful page. Here's another March page. This was so great to color. This one I did live as well, and it was suggested that I do a bright orangey red for the door, and it turned out so nice. I love the purple flowers. Again, purple's one of my favorite colors, so you will see me use purple in a lot of my pages. But the little pink flowers, like everything just came together for this page. And again, I did use alcohol markers with the colored pencils over top, but yeah, this one really was a lot of fun, and I think the door really made it what is special about the page. The color of the door is really what stands out for me with this one. And here's another page for March. This one was, I think, one of the first ones I colored from this book this month. And I really like, actually my favorite element in this page are these little seed pods. I love the green and the brown and how they came together, how they blended so nicely. And the flowers turned out nice too. I don't know why, but I'm not crazy about the color that I picked here, but I do like these little ones down here. And the door color is beautiful. I do love using fun, whimsical colors for the doors. it just, that's what a fairy would have. Fairies want bright, beautiful colors. So, but I think that's the last page I did in this book in March. Did I do any more in March? So that was Flowers and Fairy Doors for March. And again, I really enjoyed this book. I love the grayscale coloring books. They just make it so much fun and relaxing for me to color. You don't necessarily need to shade and highlight because it's already existing in the images, but it does, I find them so calming. Last but not least, this one's definitely a fan favorite, the Magical Fairy Homes coloring book. And again, this one is grayscale. March coloring page. This one I wanted to do because it does have a black background. I did want to try this page out, and I think it turned out really cool. I love how the red pops off the page because the background is so dark. So I think maybe with some of the other pages I color in this book, maybe I will use, like, I'll go in with a really dark brown or purple or black after and just make it look like it's nighttime. I like the garden mushrooms. I think these turned out really neat with the blue and then a jade color kind of over top, like they were kind of maybe glowing or iridescent in the dark. And that was fun to do. And again, the doors, I love coloring doors. They're fun, so fun to do. Oh, and I got 8,300 likes on that page or on that live. And I think that's it for March. I did also color a few of my printouts and use them to do some quick shorts and test out my new markers from Temu and Shein. But I'm not showing those. They were kind of just test pages. But if you are interested in any free printables, if you go to my Linktree, I'll link it in the description below. If you go to my Linktree and scroll down a little bit on that first page, it will say free coloring pages, and it will take you to a Google page where you can print out which ones you want. I've included some, I believe I've got some from the Magical Fairy Homes. I know I have at least one gnome that I've added on there for you guys to color and kind of try out. And also a couple of bold and easy images as well from my new Satisfying Patterns coloring book. It was suggested actually last month that someone said, do you have any free printables? And I didn't at the time, so I spent a little more time this month, or sorry, in March, doing things like updating my thumbnails for my YouTube videos, updating my coloring books to include my new covers and the intro pages like this, the new intro pages that I've been putting in my books. And also I wanted to do things like updating my Linktree. So I've been really working on streamlining my shop link that's on there, and also my Amazon storefronts. I have one for the UK, one for Canada, and one for the US. And also I wanted to add in those free coloring pages. So that was a little bit of a learning curve. I had to figure out how to use Google Docs. So there was a little bit of, not, I wouldn't say growing pains, but I was kind of working on some things there. Anyway, so for April, my plans are to, I think, I really want to do some longer form videos and not focus so much on my short videos. I do want to spend a little bit more time doing more color alongs and kind of showing you my process, like I did say with the realistic animals coloring books that I have. So I think I'm really going to focus on my longer content. Let me know in the comments if there's a book you want me to focus on, or if there's any techniques you want me to show you, or if you just want to color along. I would love to hear from you guys. It's been so great sharing these with you. I had a lot of fun coloring as always, and I think I was overall pretty happy with the month of March for my coloring, and I'm really looking forward to doing more of the long form videos for April. That's a wrap for the March pages. Thank you guys so much for chilling with me today and hanging out. And I really appreciate you all being here and following my journey. I have so much fun going through my colored pages. I think it's fun to see how I've improved from one month to the next and how my techniques have changed a little bit. If you've got a favorite, please let me know in the comments. If you have a book that you want me to focus on next month, please drop a comment below. And also share what you've colored this month. Let me know what you've been working on. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you next time.